All right, moving on with our stories for tonight. We have the Chris Anu case here. Ambazonians on yesterday woke up to the audio from the dismissed former Secretary of State for Communications and IT, Chief Coup Plotter Chris Anu, who now calls himself president, denouncing the flag and nation he is supposedly leading. Very scandalous. This has made Ambazonians really vexed. And why? I told you I was going to bring you the answer. Because a national flag is a flag that represents and symbolizes a given nation. It is flown by the government of that nation, but usually can also be flown by its citizens. A national flag is typically designed with specific meanings for its colors and symbols, which may also be used separately from the flag as a symbol of the nation. The design of a national flag is sometimes altered after the occurrence of important historical event. Now, the burning or destruction of a national flag is a great symbolic act.
Now, historically, flags originated as military standards used as field signs. Throughout history, various examples of such proto-flags exist. The white cloth banners of the Zhou dynasty armies in the 11th century BC, the vexillum standards flown by the armies of the Roman Empire, the black standard famously carried by Mohammed, which later became the flag of the Abbasid Caliphate, and the various raven banners flown by Vikings chieftains. Angelino Doucet published a series of comprehensive Portalan charts in the 14th century AD, which famously showcased the flags of several polities depicted. Although these are not uniformly national flags, as some were likely the personal standards of the respective nations' rulers. The practice of flying flags indicating the countries of origin outside of the context of warfare became common with the maritime flag. The current design of the flag of the Netherlands originated as a variant of the late 16th century orange, white, blue Prinsenvang Prince flag that was used in the Dutch War of Independence of 1568 to 1648. Evolving in the early 17th century as a red, white, blue satin flag, that's the state flags, the naval flag of the States General of the Dutch Republic, making the Dutch flag perhaps the oldest three-color flag in continuous use, although standardization of the exact colors is of a much later date.
Now, during the age of sail in the early 17th century, the Union Jack found its origins when James VI of Scotland inherited the English and Irish thrones as James I on 12 April 1606. The new flag representing this regal union between England and Scotland was specified in a royal decree, according to which the flag of England, a red cross on a white background known as St. George's Cross, and the flag of Scotland, a white satire on a blue background known as the Saltire or St. Andrew's Cross, would be joined, forming the flag of Great Britain and First Union flag. But then without the red cross of St. Patrick, it continued in use until January 1st, 1801, the effective date of the Legislative Union of Great Britain and Ireland, when the cross of St. Patrick, a red diagonal cross on white, was incorporated into the flag, giving the Union Jacks its current design. Now, with the emergence of nationalist sentiment from the late 18th century, national flags began to be displayed in civilian context as well. Notable early examples include the U.S. flag, which was first adopted as a naval ensign in 1777, but began to be displayed as a generic symbol of the United States after the American Revolution, and the French tricolor, which became a symbol of the Republic in the 1790s.
Now, most countries of Europe standardized and codified the designs of their maritime flags as national flags. In the course of the 19th and early 20th century, the specifications of the flag of Denmark, based on a flag that was in continuous use since the 14th century, were codified in 1748 as a rectangular flag with certain proportion, replacing the variant with a split. The flag of Switzerland was introduced in 1889, also based on the medieval war flags. In Europe, The red, white, blue tricolor design of the flag of the Kingdom of the Netherlands became popular since it was associated with a republican form of government through that country's long war of independence against the Spanish crown. That association was greatly reinforced after the French Revolution of 1789, when France used the same colors, but with vertical instead of horizontal stripes. Other countries in Europe, like Ireland, Romania, and Estonia, and in South and Central America, selected tricolors of their own to express their adherence to the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity as embodied in the French flag.
The Ottoman flag, now the flag of Turkey, was adopted in 1844. Other non-European powers followed the trend in the late 19th century, the flag of Japan being introduced in 1870, that of King China in 1890. Also in the 19th century, most countries of South America introduced the flag as they became independent. Peru in 1820, Bolivia in 1851, Colombia in 1860, Brazil in 1822, etc. Well, currently there are 193 national flags in the world, of which are flown by sovereign states within members of the United Nations. And of course, Ambazonia as a nation by every available right makes the count 194. Apparently, the dismissed former Secretary of State for Communications and IT, Chris Anu, who now calls himself president, really doesn't believe all of this or know a thing, or perhaps he hasn't just done his assignment. In a 21-minute, 13-second audio released yesterday, November 27, 2022, Chris Anu informed the world and Ambazonian Restoration Forces that there is nothing like an Ambazonian flag because there is no country like Ambazonia. Unbelievable. The question would be, how did you become president of a nation you don't believe in the flag that embodies the core values of the team? The rightful meaning of a nation is people. Are Ambazonians a people? Yes, of course. More so based on our historicity and legality, the core values of a people who have deprived of the rights and have been oppressed for so long like Ambazonia must not be outrightly undermined by someone who purports himself as its leader.
All right, so this unfortunate behavior has caused us to examine the Ambazonian flag, its composition, and its meaning. Now, the Ambazonian flag consists of 5 blue and 4 white horizontal stripes, 13 golden stars surrounding the image of a white dove bearing a green leaf in its beak, emblazoned on a blue square background to the left-hand corner. Now, the blue color, symbolic of democracy, plurality, and of the supremacy of the law as shall be enshrined in the Constitution of the People and Territory of Ambazonia, as shall be interpreted by the judiciary, upheld by the parliament, and defended by the executive arms of government. While it also represents limitless potentials for growth and development and for faith in the supreme being. Chris Anu certainly doesn't believe in these values. He disregarded the interim constitution unapologetically, defied due protocols and processes for a reason we now understand even much better.
Now, we believe more than ever before that Chris Anu has never wanted an independent Ambazonia. These are obvious facts. Those who thought that activists like Nelson Achiba were making up stories, today you see the answer. Accept you're an accomplice yourself. Well, let's continue with the symbolism of the Ambazonian flag. The white color stands for purity, transparency, and accountability in all domains of life and governance. It presupposes that mediocrities, as expressed by corrupt practices of any sort, are intolerable by the Ambazonian polity. Evidently, Chris Anu doesn't understand this. He managed ABC Amba TV for years without accountability. Nothing to show for but his anchormanship. Well said. And the dove on the flag is a reflective of the foundation upon which Ambazonians stand, which is the principles of God, and it represents the Spirit of God and his endowment as a significant model and an anchor to the nation. It is also a symbol of peace and tranquility as significant ideals and value to the state and people of Ambazonia. We are reliably informed that Chris Anu rejected his Christian belief in broad daylight for his ego, denied reconciliation even when his pastor friend called him for it.
Right, the green leaf born in dove's beak. Now, it's a representative of assurance of good news despite the rising tides of any prevailing but temporary storming circumstances. It is a message of truth and justice as a guarantee of imminent and abiding peace, prosperity, productivity, and success. Does Chris Anu have this vision? Well, your answer is as good as mine. Now, the 13 stars which you see around the dove represents the 13 counties which makes up the geopolitical divide of Ambazonian's national grid from the upper country to the coastal plains of the Federation of Ambazonia. Now, Ms. Anu is advocating for federalism because he doesn't even think that the 13 counties are worthy enough.
Actually, the golden color, this indicates that all 13 counties have priceless value across the national territory with a strive for balanced development based on the principles of equity and equality. And now the dove flight. The dove's flight, it represents the cherished ideals of visionary focus, hard work, liberty, and freedom. These are values of the Ambazonian nation that we have seen Dr. Sacco holding them so tight in his heart. By their fruits you shall know them. At least we now know who is the true leader in heart, not just in word.